Hey guys, coming to you from my garage. Just want to make another video, just kind of talk about crappie fishing. Wondering what your plans are this season. I'm wanting to get into some fishing tournaments if I can, and really wanting to do some good. But just talking in general, I think we could talk about rod sizes. So you know, what type of poles are you using? I'm a fan of B&M poles. I like to use those while I'm crappie fishing. Like I said, I like to do spider rigging. We talked about that. I also like to do stick fishing, and what I mean by stick fishing is or jig fishing, just basically using one pole, going around the trees, trying to find, or going around structure trying to find those crappie. But if I had to pick between all of them, I think they both have their advantages and their disadvantages. I like spider rigging. I can be very successful spider rigging. I normally catch more fish, and just by spider rigging, I can target fish better, I think, or at least I can locate them faster. So if I'm out in the water and I'm doing some trolling, one thing that I do like to do is to have different colors at different depths. So if I'm fishing 5 feet of water, I may have a one line down there at 4 foot. I may have one at 3 foot, 2 foot, and you know, trying to find where the fish are. If you're not doing that, I encourage you to try to do that. Because it's just going to make your fishing more effective. You should find success quicker and locate the fish faster. And I think that's the biggest deal. If you can locate the fish faster, you're going to be more successful. I told you I like to use that 1/16 ounce jig hook that I've been making. It's given me a lot of success at that when I'm spider rigging. But, you know, a lot of times I have to go to heavier weights if the wind's blowing or anything of that nature is happening. I have to use that heavier weight. But I encourage you, when you go out there, fish different depths, try different jig colors, tip on with a crappie bait or with a minnow or a crappie nibble. That's going to help you have more success. I like using wax worms. My buddy Bobby King put me onto the wax worms, and wax worms help me to be very successful, especially when I'm bluegill fishing. And when we're bluegill fishing, we mainly stick fish or jig fish around the trees, and we like to go to reel foot. I'm wanting to get up to Grenada this year. I want to get up to Sardis to try some of them 3-pound crappies that they have at Grenada. Don't know if I'll get to do that this year, but that is the plan. We're going to try to do that. But so when I'm spider rigging for crappie, I like to use 14-foot poles. I like for it to be far out there in front of the boat. It gives me a wider spread. Also, I think that those 14-foot poles give me plenty of clearance away from my boat. That way, if I am moving in closer to the fish with my boat, that at least those 14-foot poles are giving me some distance between me and them. It also makes for a fun catch because those 14-foot poles are, you know, it makes you feel like you got a really big beast on the end of that line with a 14-foot pole. My wife, she'll go fishing with me sometimes as well, and she doesn't necessarily like to use those longer poles. But what I would tell you guys, if you're that way, you know, if you want to use a 10-foot pole, or if you want to use a 9-foot pole, and that's fine, but you need to do what's going to make you more successful. So for me, if that's going to a 16-foot pole or an 18-foot pole, you know, maybe that's what I need to do, but you need to focus on what gives you success. And if that's a 14-foot pole, I encourage you to get you a larger poles. It's just going to help you. B&M makes great poles. I've got some Wally Marshall that are, I think they're 12-foot poles. I really like those. I've got some 9-footers. I went to Academy and got some of those. I actually got some for Christmas from my parents one time. So one thing about those poles is that you got to be real sensitive with them. So you don't want to be bending the tips or anything like that, because they will break easy. I use they're ultra lights. So when you do catch a fish, it's very sensitive. You're going to feel it. Been out here today, just working on making some crappie jigs. Kind of show you my working station here. Been pouring some leads and some of those 16-ounce jig hooks, and we'll be getting into painting them soon. I've got some of my paints back here, powder painting those. I haven't done that yet. I'm gonna buy me a fluid bed so I can do that. But I'm gonna put a link down in the description. If you're interested in purchasing some of these jig heads, you can go on to eBay. I've got a system set up there that you can purchase those things. Appreciate your business. We'll probably get into pouring plastics eventually, and maybe even make a complete store out of this thing. But just encourage you, if you like talking about crappie fishing, you like trying different tips and tricks, that's what this page is for. I want you to give me every bit of knowledge that you have on fishing. I'll give you everything that I've got on fishing, and maybe we all can become better fishermen together. Guys, hope you're having a great Sunday. Hope that everything's going good for you, and we will catch you a little bit closer to crappie season. Take care.